problem number 1, the hypotenuse is a measure of 8. In all 30, 60, 90 degree triangles, the short side, if we label this as a measure of x, we don't know that length, but we know that it's going to have some length, we'll call it x. The hypotenuse is going to be twice that long. And the long side, this is the hypotenuse, that's the side that's across from the 90 degree angle. The long side that makes up the 90 degree angle we call the long leg, and that's going to have a value of the short leg times the square root of 3. Alright, so in this case we have 8 equals 2x. 8 equals 2x. So if I solve for x, divide both sides by 2, I get x equals 4. So if x is 4, that means this short side is 4. Therefore, the long side is going to be 4 times the square root of 3. So those are the two missing sides for problem number 1. For problem number 2, here we have the short side being x. So in this case, 8 equals x. And so the hypotenuse here is going to be twice that amount. So in other words, the hypotenuse then is going to be 16, and the short side, or the long side, excuse me, I keep saying that, the long side here is going to be 8 square root of 3. So 8 square root of 3. So that's problem number 2. So here, on problem number 3, I have the long side equal to 8. So if we set this up as an equation, we would go 8 is equal to x times the square root of 3. Well, to solve for x, I would divide both sides by the square root of 3. So my new equation then would be this is 1. Something divided by itself is 1. Right? So basically we have 8 over the square root of 3 is equal to x times 1. Well, 1 times x is just x. So here I've got x is equal to 8 over the square root of 3. Unfortunately, in math land, you cannot leave a radical in the denominator. So we're going to multiply through by a form of 1. The way to get rid of a square root in the denominator is multiplying that denominator by itself. So we're going to multiply that by the square root of 3. Well, in order to create 1, we have to multiply the top by the square root of 3 as well. This leads us to the top. Remember, fractions, you multiply the numerators and you multiply the denominators. This is 8 times the square root of 3, so we'll just go 8 radical 3. On the bottom we have the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9. Now, square root of 9 simplifies down to 3, and on top we leave it 8 radical 3. So our short side then, so that's what x is. X is equal to 8 square root of 3 over 3. So this is the short side. 8 square root of 3 over 3. Alright? The long side, or the hypotenuse, excuse me, is going to be twice that amount. So this is going to be 2 times 8 square root of 3 over 3. Well, 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So now we're going to multiply the bottoms and multiply the tops. 1 times 3 is still 3. 2 times 8 is 16. So this is 16 times the square root of 3. And that would be the measurement for the length of the hypotenuse.